So this is day 2 of my watercress plantation. 这是养殖了2天的西洋菜。A very humble beginning to my watercress farm or to my indoor farming. Anyway, so this is 9 pieces of the stem picked out of a bunch of the vegetable that was purchased online. The bottom part looks very clean, nice, and the tofu box is already refilled with fresh tap water. So clean, nice, no discoloration. We bought 2 bunches of the vegetables for $1.30 each, and I picked 9 pieces out of the first bunch and more out of the second bunch the next day. And this piece was the one that was drooping in that slot, and I had to replace with another stronger, older piece from the second bunch. And then I wrapped this one in wet toilet paper and had this submerged in water for like 24 hours, and now it looks nice, healthy, viable, so I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to go back and show the whole project from the beginning. This watercress was in the fridge for like 2 or 3 days. When I saw it, I got the idea of starting to plant this at home because I have seen a lot of this vegetable in the wild. So I know this is a very resilient vegetable, very easy to grow. In California, a lot of the places with water, with flowing water, fresh water, with streams flowing down from like mountains and hillsides and creeks, a lot of those places actually have wild watercress that you can pick. I've actually picked a lot of it for food. It's good, tasty. It's one of the vegetables that I like the most, and I just looked it up and it turns out to be one of the best superfoods. So I see a place giving it a score of like 100, and then for like spinach it's only something like 76 or so. So this is a highly valued superfood. But anyway, so out of this bunch I'm going to pick out 9 pieces, basically 9 stems from which I can grow the entire plant, so that hopefully I would have enough vegetable to eat. Maybe in like a month, hopefully I can start picking vegetables to eat out of these 9 stems that I plant. So to be self-sufficient, I probably need like 30 plants. But I'm going to start with 9 pieces from this bunch, and I will pick more out of the second bunch. So I will probably start with like 15 to 20 pieces, and then maybe by 2 months end I will have about maybe 30 plants or so. Then should be by maybe in 3 months time I should be self-sufficient. But anyway, so I'm looking for 2 types. One is the older growth. Now with the watercress, they are very easy to grow. They have nodes. What I call a node is basically where the plant branch out, and you have branch coming out, and you also have big leaves coming out. So they typically grow in the form of a big leaf coming out, and then you have a tiny branch that comes out between the main branch and the big leaf. And then you also have a little bit of roots coming out of the older nodes. So basically I'm looking for pieces where I can get at least 3 nodes. So I can submerge at least 1 node in water, and then the rest of the nodes can grow leaves and branch out. So I picked 9 pieces. I'm going to use a few of the older pieces and a few young pieces. And then I want them to be straight. I do not want them to be too crooked. I need to do some trimming on the 9 stems that I picked out. So I'm going to cut away all the big branches. Now I need to leave the bottom maybe 1/4 inch of the big leaves because the new growth and the shoots and also some roots would come out of the big leaf. So the watercress is interesting that with each node it would first grow a big leaf, and then the new growth, the new shoot would come out right under that big leaf. Actually, it's not under, but it's between the big leaf and the main stem. So we need to leave the bottom of the big leaves there. They provide great protection. And with this plant, you can actually see the roots coming out of many of the nodes that are above ground. So I'm going to use a few of the complete stems with the new shoots and growth on the top, and also I'm going to be using a few pieces of just the middle part of the stem with no shoots on the top. So this way I'm going to be able to figure out which way works best. So the next step is creating the planting media. What I'm going to use is a tofu box. This is a very last minute decision to start planting watercress. So I got like an hour to basically get the stuff ready. I actually got half a piece of tofu in there, which I emptied out to a bowl. And now this box was a food container, so we can safely assume that the plastic is food safe. And I checked the back of the box, is the number 5. So for plastics with numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, they're all food safe. And I'm going to create a cover. So I got this cardboard from a cereal box, and so I'm going to get the cereal box fitted perfectly on the tofu box, and I'm going to create 9 holes for the plant. So this is going to be the plant media for some time. Next, I use my carving knives to make crisscross or double X incisions to make the openings for the plants. This way the openings would hopefully create enough pressure to keep the plants upright, but definitely keep them in place. And then there should not be too much pressure that the stems would get punctured or damaged, and it seems to work well. I'm going to use just the regular tap water, just cool tap water. I know that the watercress is very resilient, so I don't even bother creating a humidity dome, which I can do with like a plastic bag. I'm going to just set it under my desk. This is one day later, the next day, actually 22 hours later to be exact. It's June 18th, 2 o'clock, and 8 of the 9 plants are looking good, healthy. They look like they will grow and survive, but one of them is drooping. Looks like it's been dried for a day or 2. So I'm going to replace that with a new stem from the second bunch of the watercress. I'm going to replace the water and give the plants a few hours of regular indoor light.